All right, so welcome to another deep dive, and today we are taking a look at AI and copyright law.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff.
yeah.
We've got a whole bunch of articles, legal analyses, all sorts of things, and
A lot of stuff going on in that world.
it seems like the world of AI is maybe um, on a collision course with creators' rights.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
I think so.
it's a huge issue, and yeah, I think it's only going to get bigger.
Okay, so let's set the stage here.
Yeah,
AI, specifically these things called large language models,
right.
they need a ton of data to learn.
Yeah.
But uh, here's the thing. That data often comes from copyrighted material,
Oh, yeah.
like books, articles, even code.
It's true. They're
Yeah.
just like little superpowered students just trying to learn a new language.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
And to master it, they need to devour a vast library of text and code.
Yeah, and that's where the trouble starts, right?
Exactly.
That library might be full of stuff that they're not really supposed to be looking at.
Right.
You know, copyrighted works that the AI is essentially absorbing without permission.
Yeah, that's right. And the lawsuits are starting to pile up.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we've got some stuff here, some sources here detailing how French publishers and authors are suing Meta, claiming that their books were used to train Meta's AI
Without consent.
without consent.
And it's not an isolated incident. It follows a similar lawsuit in the U.S.
Wow.
So,
Okay, so what makes these lawsuits so compelling?
wow.
Like, what evidence do they actually have?
Well, the French publishers are claiming that Meta's AI can produce near-perfect replicas of their authors' works.
Wow, so they're saying that.
It's basically like the AI has memorized entire books, which strongly suggests those books were used in its training.
Oh, okay, so it basically regurgitates the
Yeah,
information.
exactly.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Okay. So, okay, that makes sense on the surface.
yeah.
But if Meta has access to billions of users generating data every single day on Facebook and Instagram,
Right.
why would they even need to use copyrighted material?
That's a good question.
Seems like they've got a massive data pool to play with already.
You would think so, but the type of data that Meta needs for their large language model, specifically long-form conversational text,
Okay.
that's not as readily available on those platforms.
Oh, so they need like really long.
Think about it.
Okay.
People delete old posts. They rarely write long pieces.
Yeah.
And the style of writing on social media is just not the same as, say, a novel or an in-depth article.
Okay, so it's not just about the quantity,
Right.
but it's also about the
Quality and type.
type. Okay.
That's exactly right. And that brings us to the heart of this legal battle.
Yeah.
Can Meta or any company developing AI legally use copyrighted material in this way?
Yeah, that's the big question, right?
That is the big question.
And, you know, we've got some sources here that are highlighting some of these internal discussions at Meta.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're feeling a lot of pressure
Makes sense.
to catch up to OpenAI's ChatGPT. There's even a funny little anecdote in here about Zuckerberg
Okay.
reportedly considering buying the publishing giant Simon & Schuster,
Wow.
you know, home to authors like
Although
Stephen King,
I know Simon. She's.
just to get access to their catalog.
Oh, wow.
It's like they wanted to build this private library
Oh, yeah.
just for their AI to learn from.
It speaks volumes about the value of this type of data, I think.
Real.
You know, they saw this massive catalog of published works as a potential shortcut to building a more sophisticated AI.
And in the end, it looks like they opted for a different route,
Mm-hmm.
a riskier route, maybe a cheaper route.
Oh, yeah.
But if Meta is facing these issues, what about OpenAI?
Yeah.
Did they manage to build their LLM ethically?
It seems like it's an industry-wide issue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got reports here indicating that OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, is also facing lawsuits for very similar copyright violations.
So this isn't just a Meta problem.
No, it's a systemic challenge, I think, in the field of AI development.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it begs the question, is there any way to develop these powerful AI systems without running up against copyright law?
Yeah, I mean, that's the big question, isn't it?
It is a big question.
I mean, this is all uncharted territory, right?
Yes.
Like, on one hand, we've got the potential of AI to revolutionize everything from medicine to education.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we've got these very basic fundamental questions about where that AI is getting its knowledge.
Right.
And whether it's crossing legal and ethical lines.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, and I think
Mhm.
this tension is only going to intensify as AI development accelerates.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, these companies are in a race to build the most advanced AI,
Uh-huh.
and they need massive amounts of data to fuel that race.
They do, yeah. And, that brings up another question, right?
What's that?
Is there any chance that Meta could argue that using copyrighted data for training falls under fair use?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
I don't know. I mean,
It's certainly possible they'll try that route. I mean, fair use allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission for things like commentary, criticism, parody.
right.
But the courts will ultimately have to decide if training an AI, essentially teaching it to mimic human writing styles,
Right.
if that qualifies as fair use.
That's a really tough question.
Yeah, it is.
And I imagine the publishing industry would argue pretty strongly that it doesn't.
They will.
If an AI can churn out a novel that reads just like Stephen King,
Uh-huh.
what does that mean for the value of his original work?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It raises concerns about the potential devaluation of human creativity.
Right.
I mean, if AI can simply replicate the styles of established authors, what incentive do new authors have to create original work?
Right. That's a good point.
It's a big question.
And what about the idea of transformative use?
Okay.
Could Meta argue that they're transforming the copyrighted material into something new and different?
That's another legal avenue they might explore. Transformative use occurs when copyrighted material is used in a way that adds new meaning or expression,
Okay.
transforming it into something distinct from the original.
Okay, so they might argue that their AI is taking all these different pieces of text
Right.
and creating something entirely new.
Yeah.
Some kind of digital Frankenstein's monster of language.
It's a clever argument, but whether it holds up in court remains to be seen.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's a precedent in the music industry with sampling.
Okay.
Artists who sample copyrighted music without permission,
Right.
they often face legal challenges, even if they argue that they transform the sample into something new.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so let's play this out.
Okay.
Let's say, hypothetically, the courts rule against Meta and OpenAI.
Okay.
What kind of ripple effects could that have on the AI industry as a whole?
Well, it could significantly impact how AI is developed and trained moving forward.
Okay.
I mean, companies might be forced to rely more heavily on public domain works
Okay.
or data that's explicitly licensed for AI training.
And that sounds like it could slow down the pace of innovation a lot.
It could.
Imagine trying to train an AI to write like Shakespeare using only public domain texts.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's
Yeah.
a valid concern.
Right.
It could lead to a situation where only large companies with the resources to acquire massive amounts of licensed data
Right.
can compete in the AI race.
So it could create this I
Yeah,
don't know, like an oligopoly or something like that.
kind of. Yeah.
Where the small players just can't compete.
Yeah, and what about alternative approaches?
Yeah, what about that?
I mean, we have information here about Elon Musk's XAI,
Right.
which is using Twitter data to train its LLM.
Right.
Is that a more ethical route?
Yeah, I mean, it's all publicly available.
Well, it's a different approach, for sure, but even using public data raises questions about privacy and consent.
Yeah, that's true.
Twitter users might not be thrilled to know that their tweets are being used to train a potentially very powerful AI.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product.
Exactly. And in this case, those tweets are the product.
Wow.
Yeah. And it highlights the need for more transparency and clearer guidelines
Yeah.
about how AI companies can use publicly available data.
It seems like this whole situation is just a minefield of ethical and legal complexities.
It really is.
So where do we even go from here?
Well, that's a good question.
Do we just wait for the courts to sort it all out?
The legal battles will undoubtedly play a role.
Yeah.
But I also think there's a need for policymakers to step up and create clearer regulations around AI development.
Yeah.
We need a framework that balances the need for innovation
Yeah.
with the rights of creators
Right.
and the concerns of the public.
So we're trying to build the rulebook for a technology that's evolving incredibly fast.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a tough job.
It's a daunting task, yeah.
So we talked about the legal challenges,
Yeah.
the potential for regulation.
Right.
What about the creative side of all of this? Yeah. How's all this impacting the creative industries?
It's causing a lot of anxiety, to be sure.
Understandably so.
Yeah, many authors and artists are worried that AI will devalue their work,
Yeah.
that it'll make human creativity obsolete.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah,
Right.
it is.
I mean, it's like all of a sudden there's this machine that can potentially mimic your unique style, your voice, your creative essence.
Right.
It's unsettling.
Absolutely. And it raises a very fundamental question.
Okay.
What does it mean to be a creator in the age of AI?
Wow.
if a machine can churn out a song that sounds just like your favorite artist,
Right.
or write a novel in the style of a literary master,
Yeah.
where does that leave human creativity?
It's a really good question. It's a head-spinning question for sure.
Yeah, it is.
But instead of focusing on the potential downsides,
Yeah.
what if we flipped the script?
Yeah, go on.
What if we look at AI as a tool for creative exploration,
Okay.
a way to push the boundaries of what's even possible?
That's a perspective I find really intriguing.
Yeah.
Imagine AI as a collaborator,
Okay.
a brainstorming partner
Yeah.
that can help you generate ideas, overcome creative blocks, or even explore new genres and styles that you might never have considered before.
So instead of fearing AI, we embrace it as a creative catalyst.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
It is interesting.
But even if we can accept that AI can be a force for good in the creative process,
Uh-huh.
we still have to deal with the question of ownership, right?
Of course.
Who owns the rights to AI-generated content?
That's the million-dollar question, and one that legal experts are still wrestling with.
I bet. Yeah.
Is it the AI developer,
Right.
the person who provided the prompts and the data,
Right.
or does the AI itself have some kind of claim?
Wow.
It's a legal labyrinth
Yeah.
with no easy answers.
Right. And it's not just about ownership. It's also about attribution and compensation.
That's right.
I mean, if an AI creates a piece of music that becomes a huge hit,
Right.
who gets the royalties? You know, the writer, the programmer.
Exactly. These are all complex issues that we'll need to address as AI becomes more sophisticated and integrated into our lives.
Yeah.
We need new legal frameworks, new ethical guidelines,
Yeah.
and a new understanding of what it even means to create and own intellectual property.
It sounds like we're on the cusp of a major paradigm shift here.
It seems that way.
Not just in the creative industries,
Right.
but in society as a whole.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a really exciting and challenging time.
It is. It is.
But I think, like you said, if we engage in these conversations,
Right.
grapple with the ethical and legal complexities,
Yeah,
we can harness the power of AI in a way that benefits everyone,
that's right.
creators and society at large.
Absolutely. I think that's a perfect note to end our deep dive on today.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from copyright lawsuits to the future of creativity. It's been a fascinating exploration, and I hope our listeners have gained a new appreciation for the interplay between AI, creativity, and the law.
Yeah, no, I have. It's been really great having you on. And I think this will definitely spark some curiosity, some critical thinking, maybe even some heated debates around the dinner table.
That's what we like to see.
Exactly. So keep questioning, keep exploring, and as always, happy diving.
Happy diving.
I mean, it's understandable. You
And
know?
it is.
It's like suddenly having this machine that can basically copy you,
Uh-huh.
mimic your unique style, your voice,
Right.
your creative essence. That's got to be unsettling.
Absolutely. And I think it raises this fundamental question of what does it even mean to be a creator in the age of AI?
Yeah.
I mean, if a machine can churn out a song that sounds exactly like your favorite artist,
Right.
or write a novel that's in the style of a, literary master,
Yeah.
where does that leave human creativity?
It's a good question. I mean, it's a head spinner for sure.
Yeah, it is.
But what if we,
Yeah.
instead of focusing on all the potential downsides,
Right.
what if we flipped the script and looked at AI as a tool,
Okay.
a tool for creative exploration, a way to like push the boundaries of what's possible?
That's a perspective I find really intriguing.
Yeah.
Imagine AI as like a collaborator.
Okay.
A brainstorming partner that can help you generate ideas,
Right.
overcome creative blocks,
Yeah.
or even explore new genres and styles you might never have considered before.
So instead of fearing AI, we embrace it
Right.
as a creative catalyst.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
It is interesting.
But even if we can get past that, even if we can accept that AI can be a force for good in the creative process,
Right.
we still have to deal with the question of ownership.
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, who owns the rights to AI-generated content?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And the one that I think legal experts are still really wrestling with is
Mhm.
it the AI developer?
Right.
The person who provided the prompts, the data? Or does the AI itself have some kind of claim?
Wow.
It's a legal labyrinth
Yeah. Yeah.
with no easy answers.
And it's not just about ownership. It's about attribution and compensation, too.
That's right.
I mean, if an AI creates a piece of music and it becomes this huge hit, who gets the royalties?
Right, exactly. These are all complex issues that we'll need to address as AI becomes more and more sophisticated,
Yeah.
more integrated into our lives. We need new legal frameworks,
Right.
new ethical guidelines, and a new understanding of what it even means to create and own intellectual property.
It really does sound like we are on the cusp of a major paradigm shift.
It seems that way, yeah.
Not just in creative industries, but in society as a whole.
Yeah, I think so.
It's exciting, it's challenging.
It is.
But like you said, if we engage in these conversations,
Yeah,
we grapple with the ethical and the legal complexities,
right?
we can harness the power of AI in a way that benefits everyone.
That's right, creators and society at large.
Well said, and I think that's a perfect note to end our deep dive on today.
It has been a fascinating exploration,
It has.
and I hope our listeners have gained a new appreciation for the interplay between AI, creativity, and the law.
I know I have. It's been great having you on, and I think this will definitely spark some curiosity, some critical thinking, maybe even some heated debates around the dinner table.
That's what we like to see.
Exactly. So keep questioning, keep exploring, and as always, happy diving.
Happy diving.
It's understandable, right? Like all of a sudden there's this machine that can just copy you,
Yeah,
mimic your style, your voice, your creative essence.
yeah.
I mean, it's unsettling.
Absolutely, and it raises a really fundamental question.
Right.
Like, what does it even mean to be a creator in the age of AI?
Oh.
I mean, if a machine can churn out a song,
Yeah.
that sounds just like your favorite artist.
Right.
Or write a novel in the style of a, literary master.
Right.
Where does that leave human creativity?
It's a good question. It's a head spinner, that's for sure.
It is.
But what if instead of focusing on all the, the potential downsides,
What if we flip the script
okay,
and we look at AI as a tool
okay,
for creative exploration,
yeah.
a way to push the boundaries of what's possible?
That's a perspective that I find really intriguing.
Yeah.
Imagine AI as like a collaborator,
Okay.
a brainstorming partner that can help you generate ideas,
Yeah.
overcome creative blocks,
Right.
or even explore new genres and styles you might never have considered before.
So instead of fearing AI, we embrace it as a
Exactly.
creative catalyst.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
it is interesting.
I mean, even if we accept that AI can be a force for good in the creative process,
Right.
we still have this question of ownership.
Of course.
Who owns the rights to AI-generated content?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
The one that I think legal experts are still really wrestling with.
I bet.
Is it the AI developer,
Right,
the person who provided the prompts, the data,
right.
or does the AI itself have some kind of claim? It's a legal labyrinth.
It is, with no easy answers.
And it's not just about ownership. It's about attribution and compensation.
Exactly.
Like if an AI creates a piece of music
Right.
and it becomes a huge hit,
Yeah.
who gets the royalties?
Right.
The writer? The programmer? I don't know.
These are all really complex issues that we're going to have to address as AI becomes more sophisticated and more integrated into our lives.
Right.
We need new legal frameworks, new ethical guidelines,
Right.
and a new understanding of what it even means to create and own intellectual property.
It sounds like we're on the cusp of a huge paradigm shift here.
It seems that way.
Not just in creative industries, but in society as a whole.
Yeah, I think so.
It's an exciting time. It's challenging.
It is.
But like you said, if we engage in these conversations,
Right.
we grapple with these, ethical and legal complexities,
Right.
we can harness the power of AI in a way that benefits everyone.
That's right. Creators and society at large.
I think you said it perfectly, and that is a perfect note to end our deep dive on today.
I think so.
I mean, it's been a fascinating exploration, and, hopefully our listeners have gained a new appreciation for the interplay between AI creativity and the law.
Yeah.
I know I have, and it's been great having you on.
It's been fun.
So keep questioning, keep exploring, and as always, happy diving.
Happy diving.